Hello, welcome to the next ReeVlog. I'm just playing a game whilst we do this. So, yeah, I was going to do one yesterday, but I just sort of kind of didn't get around to it. Which, fair enough, it happens. Sorry, this light's really early. I'm going to see if there's still enough light with it on. Depending on how much light's coming from the screen, that's fine. It was reflecting, so I couldn't see myself, so I didn't know if I was, like, in frame. Also, this headset mic isn't anything to do with the video. It's just so I can hear the game, and I've got it over the hood, because it's more comfortable for my ears. Found that one out this morning, and it is morning, and I shouldn't be awake. I went on holiday recently, and then I haven't been able to get back into my normal sleeping pattern yet, which kind of sucks, and, you know, hence why I'm playing a video game kind of in the dark at 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm giving myself a few hours of just nothingness, low power mode, as I would probably call it, to adapt, because I've been awake since like 9, haven't been able to get back to sleep, so instead I figured I would do something light but in the dark to stop myself from having to absorb too much. Then I'll get up and start my day, so hopefully it will help me with staying awake longer, so I can go to bed later, so I can get up later with any luck. Other than that, what's been happening? So I mentioned the holiday, which went pretty well. First holiday, really, as an adult that I've had, which is something. But there's a lot more that I've learned from it. If when I do any future holidays, I will know better what I want, how it's best going to work for me and stuff like that. So I went for 6 days, including the 2 in which I was travelling, and with that said, I would probably instead go for 3 or 4 days, including the 2 travel days in future, but allow myself an extra 2 or 3 days when I get back as like recovery, and just sort of make sure to jam pack whatever it is that I'm doing whilst I'm there, because I was there for so long that I was like, okay, I've just arrived, need to relax after the drive, which fair enough, probably going to have that anyway, and then following that, it was like, oh, I've not been here long, let me just have a quick lay of the land, and then chill, and I don't do great when I do nothing. Like, I'm doing more or less nothing now, right? Just playing a game, but that's because I know that later on I will be doing stuff, and that's fine. This is literally to conserve energy so that I can do things better later and tomorrow and so on. And then with that said, I also, well, back to the holiday, I suppose, throughout the rest of the holiday, it wasn't until like Wednesday, Thursday that I was like, oh shit, I'm leaving on Saturday in the morning pretty early. What am I doing? How am I gonna, you know, get everything sorted? So I was in a bit of a rush on those days, and I didn't have time to plan things out that well. I went to a zoo, which was great. I went on a hike, which was great, but I didn't do that much else. I would have liked to go on more hikes and stuff like that, because it was like Dartmoor. Whatever. I learned from those mistakes. Then, beyond that, I have learned a little bit more about, I say learn, I've just gonna be blunt, I've been kind of dating someone for like nearly a year. I think today is 11 months since our first date. Woo! Nearly an anniversary. Except for the fact that we never went official boyfriend-girlfriend. We went exclusive, but not official, so to speak. With that said, we are, I think, broken up, or in the process of breaking up, which is very sad. And personal, but effectively, whilst we get along great and many good things, there is the minor issue of the fact that I want kids and she doesn't. And that's the sort of issue that I'm not going to be able to just sort of get around willy-nilly, you know? It's a non-negotiable for each of us, so it's the sort of thing that unfortunately means that we're not going to be compatible romantically. And I think we both just sort of taken some time to process that. And yeah, having started that process of processing, I don't know, probably will be going to a point of, will we be friends, will we just like grow apart, like what's going to happen, which is very sad, and probably isn't helping with my tiredness in the evening times, because you know, those times there isn't really anyone for me to talk to or distract myself from thinking about that, and sad thoughts are tiring thoughts in my experience. But yeah, outside of that, Kung Fu last night went well. Back to a happier topic. Kung Fu went well. My instructor and I had a quick talk after Kung Fu, before we each went home, and pretty much he clarified a couple of things that I was a little bit unsure of, just so that I can practice them, and we went through my stuff. I went through my stuff the whole session. Admittedly, more of it was spent on one thing than I would have liked. I would have liked a little bit wider versatility in order to make sure that I'm optimizing the time, but having gone through that much, there was various little bits and bobs that got picked out for me to improve on, and I've made notes of those, so it's effectively just a bit easier going forwards, hopefully. We'll see, but it should be fine. On top of which, that's what my day plan is today. Sorry if it's my communication's a little janky today. I am intending to speak relatively clearly, but playing a game whilst doing this sort of vlog, whilst I'm thinking about my life, is a lot harder than my old days of doing gameplay with voiceover that I used to do. Never mind though. Hang on. There we go. Plan for the day, when I would usually be up this afternoon, is get up and probably go to my mother's and do some Kung Fu, more or less. I have a little post-it note with what I need to focus on it, and I've got on my phone various bits and bobs, which are pretty much just do this thing, here's how you do it, make sure you get this bit right, so if I do forget anything I can double check it, and I can start adding up a couple extra bits. to be in my repertoire, ready for the grading, because my instructor said if I can get the physical fitness side of things down, I should be able to do black in 2 years, which means 1 belt a year, which kind of is my goal anyway, but the fact that he's expressed the fact that he thinks that I can do that, it's very reassuring. He has also said that I'm going to struggle with the form just because of my build. It's not going to be like an easy one for me. We went through something yesterday which is really different to everything else we've done, so that's going to take a little bit of adjustment. That's one of the things that I'm working on today, along with the form and the other bits and bobs. Yeah, should be, in theory, mostly fine. Like, a lot of it is drills that I have to do with other people, which is going to make the practice element a lot harder. But I can still train the drills, it's just without the other people I can't do it as well, and one of them, no way in hell can I really do it, just because it's such a odd drill, in the sense that I have to be put into a lock position. It can be whatever the other person wants me to be put into, so there's not much I can do about that other than practice breaking out of various locks. But I think it'd be better to wait on that one and then get a feel for the actual biomechanics of it, rather than just trying to intellectualize it all. So yeah, a little bit difficult, but whatever. And then the physical fitness side of things is the other thing. I need to work on my cardio more, keep working on my endurance, do my best to get the fatigue more under control, so it's probably going to be more omega-3, intermittent fasting, making sure to take my supplements, making sure to use my inhaler, that sort of thing. Remaining hydrated, reducing caffeine, increasing sleep, blah 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 blah. Because it's going to be a physically intense one, and black belt's the most physically intense out of them all. And yeah, it's going to mean some intensive training, and potentially even I might hire an external PT rather than PTing myself, which is what I like have a habit of doing. Yeah, but we'll see how I do, because I've got my self-PT stuff down. I just need an external source of accountability, which I'm working on. I had one as a private Instagram account years ago, and I've either stopped using it, and I think I have like one follower who is someone else who had a private Instagram account. It might have been a public Instagram account, but it's like for exercise that I know, but they don't use that anymore, so they won't see anything. So it is literally just for me to be accountable and track progress, that sort of thing. Because yes, I fill in my spreadsheets and I can see progress, but it doesn't take into account actual workouts and training that I do, which the private Instagram is intended to do, to say effectively, here is this that I've done, here's how I feel having done that, and then put it there. So yeah, hopefully that'll work out in some way, shape or form, but we'll find out. Outside of which, and I'm understanding this is getting quite a long video, I've gone through sleep, I've gone through kung fu, I've gone through relationship issues. The last thing is work, I suppose. I'm aiming for what's it called? Pause the game. I'm looking for a potential new job. My current job's working fine, and I'm pretty good at it, if I say so myself. Not that it's a difficult job. I still retain the fact that it's probably the easiest job I've ever had. with the potential exception of my paper round, but that's just because that only took like 20 minutes. But as my instructor pointed out, martial arts clubs are evenings, almost exclusively, because people work during the days, etc. And if I have to close up shop for a month, every other month, that's not fair on students, and I would lose students. So yes, I plan on going on board once I've got my black belt for a while and then coming back. It might be worthwhile for me not being in this sort of role, getting out of this sleep pattern, working days, but finding one that works for my fatigue is going to struggle. So I've got an appointment with the job centre in a few weeks, I think around the 20th of June, roughly, to sort of discuss that, see what my options are going forward, and hopefully I'll be able to make some progress towards that, and then that would also mean I don't need to miss as many sessions of Kung Fu, because as it is I miss like half of them, etc, etc. So we'll see. Regardless though, I'm gonna play the game now and stop thinking so hard, because this is meant to be my sleeping time. I'm gonna just go to mindless play game brain, and then in 2.5 hours or so get up. So I'm gonna wish you a good day, and I'll catch you cats.